Here now to sound off about what's been happening in Iran. She's a spokesperson for the Kingdom Assembly in Iran and the daughter of an American hostage that was kidnapped and killed by the Ayatollah's regime. Giselle Sharmad, back on the program. Nice to see you again. Let's get right after this. The death toll is a staggering number. I've heard past 12,000 possibly. We don't know what's happening there because they're shutting down all reporting, pulling people's satellite and Starlinks so they can't communicate with the outside world. I would assume you still have a lot of contacts on the ground there. What can you tell us about the violence and the killings?
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
Let me tell you from the ground, besides the killings, military-grade equipment being used against civilians and the high death toll estimations that we have, let me tell you what is really going on inside Iran. Besides being killed, being shot in the eyes, being shot in the face by these IRGC terrorists, millions are still in the streets. They're putting mosques on fire. 20 mosques are burning. IRGC bases are burning. Basij bases are burning. This is the paramilitary force of the Islamic regime against the Iranian people. They're reclaiming city after city, square after square. Entire regions are being liberated right now. So this is no longer a protest. This was never about anything in the economy. Did you even hear one slogan talking about better wages? What they're saying is down with the Islamic regime, freedom, and they're calling on the Crown Prince, which is the transitional leader of Iran, outside of Iran. So this is a full-blown revolution taking place. The people are being a threat now to the regime. They started off by chanting, "Don't be afraid, we're all together." The chants are now towards the IRGC saying, "Don't be afraid. If you lay down your weapons, we won't harm you." This is the power of the Iranian people by the millions. The IRGC is outnumbered inside of Iran. So we have reports of Hezbollah forces, of Hasht militias from Iraq being entered into Iran to kill the Iranian people. And President Trump's tweet, which was the best tweet we have seen in decades, understands one truth: that Iran is under Islamic occupation. These are not the government of Iran. These are not Iranians. That's why President Trump said specifically, take over your institutions. You wouldn't say take over your institutions if he believed that this is protests in a sovereign state with a sovereign government. Take over your institutions means President Trump understands that this is an occupation by the Ayatollahs of Iranian soil. And he is standing on the side of the Iranian patriots to liberate Iran from this Islamist regime that came about in 1979, not through a revolution, but through an Islamo-Marxist coup. The marriage of the communists and the Islamic forces took over Iran, and people are liberating themselves from that evil right now.
I have a feeling that some of my fellow Americans in the city of New York are going to be in the same state after they elected a communist Muslim, their mayor, which is why we always talk about the Red-Green Alliance in this nation, because we have radical lefties here who have partnered and teamed up with, and I don't even say radical Islam anymore, I just say Islam, and we have to stop this. For anybody in this country saying, oh no, Islam's fine, Islam's of peace, look at Iran. Look what they did since 1979. She's telling you thousands. Over the years, I don't even know. What is the death toll, do you think, since 1979? The Ayatollahs have killed hundreds and hundreds of thousands probably over 40, 50 years.
We just know that through their executions last year, 1,700 people have been lynched by this Ayatollah Islamic occupation system. That's more than on October 7. So we have an October 7 every year inside of Iran through that Ayatollah regime that is an illegitimate occupation of Iran. And let's get back to these Islamic leftist forces, because your colleague, unfortunately right now, Matt, had a member of a Marxist, Islamo-Marxist cult, the MEC, on his show right now. So we have to be very careful. What kind of people are posing as a solution, are posing as an opposition to this regime? The MEC is an Islamo-Marxist cult that is all around Washington, D.C. right now, trying to get into the heads of the policymakers. The MEC worked together in 1979 with the Ayatollahs to take down Iran's government. They came in, they killed Iranians, they take down the government of Iran, exiled the Shah. And when they did that, the Ayatollahs and the Mek started killing each other until one of them won. So the Mek is not an opposition to the regime. They're just as Islamic, but they're also Marxist on top of that. So we should be very careful which kind of voices we're promoting here in Washington, here in America, because America does not stand with terrorists. America does not stand with any anti-American, anti-civilized forces. So don't be fooled when they come with their 10-step program or their woman leader in a hijab and want to tell you that this is an alternative. No, these are competitors trying to make Iran Islamic again. We're not standing with that. Iranians are not Islamic. Iranians are shouting for freedom, regaining their freedom on their own. They don't need boots on the ground. They just need a president that stands behind them, and President Trump has shown that. The next thing that we need to see from President Trump is a speech from the Oval Office directly to the Iranian people, and that will shift history like you've never seen before.
Giselle Shermad, thank you for all of that. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me.